Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the new channel, old channel, but new taste on it, and we're back here with a update on the Runaway Train. I wasn't gonna do an update, but a lot of you guys seem to really be into it, and kind of go over some of the stuff that I did, and as of right now, it's done enough for me to be happy with it. Everything came out really good. I have DCC and sound in the lead unit now, so I can run that really nice. That was kind of a chore to get that in there because I am still using the Athearn Blue Box frame, the whole locomotive except for the gearboxes, wheels, motor, and panel and all that. Everything else is Blue Box. The gearboxes are Athearn RTRs, and then the motor and the panel is Athearn Genesis. So keeping it in the family, but big upgrades. You guys can see I have the front of this unit done. We'll kind of take a look at that. I did decide to kind of take the whole train back in time in the movie sense. Modeling it a little bit earlier in the movie, shortly after the wreck, basically. So I decided to put new front windows in the F unit. So now, instead of having just one broke out, we still have those. We have both of them in place now. And then you guys can kind of see the heat from the exhausts, keeping the snow off of the top middle area there. Kind of have that going on. But yeah, the lead unit came out really nice. You guys can actually kind of see now that it's painted and weathered with some snow. You guys can kind of see that monster mouth, kind of scary face that it has now. If you've ever seen the movie, you know that was really, this unit was kind of, the whole train itself, but the front of this unit was really portrayed as a monster, kind of a runaway monster. And they did a really good job at making the front of this unit look like it had a mouth. There's even an old movie advertisement for it, an old picture that kind of shows a red glow coming from the mouth of the lead unit. So definitely for like that old 80s thriller action type deal there, definitely gave it a personality. There's even a couple shots in the movie where the unit was going by and they kind of had like a lion roar in the background, kind of hidden in the audio, to really get the point through that it's something scary, it's a beast. So we finally have that done. You guys kind of saw how I had that all put together with aluminum foil and a few other little parts here and there. Definitely took my time this go around to make it as close to the movie as possible. Even looks really good from the front. You guys can see the various spots of debris. Was able to pretty much keep everything within the confines of the locomotive. A little exception with these front corners on that base plate, and then just a little bit sticking out right there. Other than that, it's pretty tight, so I don't have to worry about clearance issues. And that's basically how they did the real unit. They didn't really, other than bringing it forward quite a bit, they really didn't stick it out the sides too far, just to keep it so that way they could still pass trains when they were filming and do stuff like that. So another thing that was kind of a challenge was the conductor's side. This side was not really shown at all in the movie. Most of it is from this angle, if you'll notice, so that way you can get the full effect of that kind of that monster mouth look that they created. So this side was just kind of what I could come up with as far as debris. Luckily the front is shown quite a bit here with like hoses coming down, and then this upper part that kind of makes the upper jaw, that's shown enough. So basically what you can't see is just all this stuff up in here, and that's pretty easy. Just kind of come up with some natural shapes using the tin foil, folding things over, just trying to make it look wrecked all the way around. Of course, we have no hand railing on the conductor side. I believe that was removed for the movie. But that railing on the operator side stayed. And then you guys can see I got my kind of lower teeth cut out in the base plate now. That looks a lot better. If you ever really study the movie, or even screenshot some parts of the movie, you'll notice that it does have kind of 4 large teeth that stick way out on the bottom. And then this whole upper part right here is supposed to be kind of the top of the jaw. Very jagged, very pointy. And I think I talked about in the last video of how I kind of got all that rigid. You guys can see I can tap on that with my finger a little bit. Can't go too crazy, but I can at least tap it. Nothing breaks free. Everything holds really well. That was just one of the challenges of coming up with kind of these delicate shapes in tin foil, especially this kind of top plate right here. But as far as the kind of weathering process went, something I didn't do last time that I kind of paid more attention to this time was the fact that the whole front of the unit and the sides of the cabs, or the sides of the cab, were black, basically to give it that kind of that scorched, burnt look from the wreck. Supposed to be darker. This whole area is supposed to be darker than the rest of the unit, and you guys can see that visually in the camera there. Went and I painted everything with a matte black to kind of give it that dark, burnt look. And then as far as what I decided to put snow on, I didn't want to go too crazy. The first rendition that I did, I basically had a layer of snow over everything, and I didn't want to cover it that much. I kind of wanted this to be timeline-wise as a little while after it hit, just starting to build snow on the more visible areas. And kind of how I went about picking the visible areas was I flipped the unit around and I kind of looked at it from the top down, and basically any surface that I could really clearly see that was a somewhat of a flat surface that would build snow up, I basically looked down on those areas, and of course the lower half is going to have the very first early snow buildup, but just kind of on some of these flat surfaces. And then there is a specific time in the movie where the unit had about that much snow on it, so I did kind of work from pictures as well to kind of get my snow cover just right. But like I said, I didn't want the entire thing covered in snow. We still have the surfaces that are like under this jaw part here, no snow on those yet. The more straight up and down stuff doesn't quite have snow on it yet. Mostly just the flatter surfaces. The really round stuff like these hoses don't have snow build up on those yet. Like I said, there's a specific time in the movie where the weathering is basically this on it, and that's what I liked. Just enough to show that there's some new snow accumulating on the wreckage, but not the whole thing covered in snow, kind of more like it was towards the end of the movie. So that was kind of a thing that I had to mess around with. I didn't want to go too crazy because that once it's on there, it is kind of hard to get off. I use crushed up pastels, and I basically powderize pastel, white pastel, mix it with water, to make a paste and then paint the paste on. And then I use Krylon matte spray to seal everything. The Krylon matte spray does take some of your lighter stuff away, so this is at least 2 coats of snow on those areas to get kind of that light buildup to where you can kind of still see the under parts, but stuff's getting blown snow on it. Just really took my time to make sure that the snow looked really good. Like I said, I wanted it to kind of look like it's all fresh, new snow accumulating on the front end, and not snow that's been there for a while. Kind of like how it is at the end of the movie. So I feel like that came out really good. I love how the front end looks. It looks way better than my first time around. Like I said, I took a lot of time, quite a few hours of studying the screenshots that I took from the movie to replicate it. Is it 100%? No. Is it pretty close? Yeah, it's pretty close. I'm pretty happy with it. The thing that excites me the most is it definitely, from the filming angles that it was filmed at the most, you guys can definitely see that how it has a mouth. And I just love that. It's, something they did specifically for that movie to make it scary, make it a beast, and I'm really glad that I went back and took some time to try to replicate that the best I could. Really happy with how it came out. It looks awesome. And I love how the wreck, even though it has a little bit of snow on it, you guys can tell it's still kind of somewhat new, the snow is a little bit fresher on these areas, a little bit lighter snow, darker and dirtier snow along the bottom of the unit, along the tops of the units. So that came out really good, really happy with that. Like I said, as far as like a few other things that I added that weren't in the movie are the horns, and I did prototypical horns and horn placement. Now in the movie there is a part where the helper is in the F unit and honking the horn, and I think the horn that you're hearing is an M3. This unit originally would have had an M5, and so I put an M5 on there. These 2 units each got an M3 horn, kind of low mount, and then the lead unit got a P3. So just kind of some stuff on that. I did not weather the wheels. The wheels are shiny still. I've kind of, over the years, I've kind of strayed away from weathering wheels. I've noticed that weathered wheels kind of attract dust a lot more than clean wheels. Whether they're painted and weathered, it seems like they get dirtier faster. So I'm not sure if I'll ever get around to painting the wheels. It's really not too bad seeing shiny wheels through there, but if it bothers me enough in the future, I can always go back and paint those. No big deal. Like I said, the F unit, we replaced all the missing windows. I actually had 2 missing windows originally. One of the scenes where they're fighting in the cab, Rebecca De Mornay's character gets slammed up against this door here, and her head actually breaks the glass out of that. I put that back in there. And then, like I said, I kind of rewind my time frame on the train. Like I said, the first rendition was a lot more snowier. I kind of made it for like more the end of the movie. So a lot of things that already happened. Manny's character had already busted out this window and climbed through. And now that I've kind of taken it back in time, I went ahead and put both new windows in there, frosted those over to kind of give those kind of that cold weather look like the rest of them have. And then try to paint some heat back into the tops of the units. I had these very snowy because a couple of these would have already been shut down by the end of the movie. So I had a lot of snow buildup. Well, when I went and put the new taller exhausts on these 2 GP7s, I went and kind of painted back some heat in those areas. where you would expect the snow to be melting from the heat of the engine and the exhaust. And basically worked off of my screenshots that I took from the movie. I wanted to match the snow accumulation on the tops as close as I could. Not too much snow on the F unit. A lot of snow on all of the cabs, of course, on all these. The winterization hatch around the exhaust, just a little bit around the fans on this lead unit. Really not too much on the F7, mostly on the cab front there, and then a little bit around the steam generator. And then on the GP7s, a lot of snow accumulation on the cab in the front of the high nose. A little bit of snow accumulating on the tops of the winterization hatches. And then basically kind of took that heat line, tried to match how they looked in the movie with a little bit of melt just across the top and kind of connecting with the sides there. Might not look great, but that's how it was in the movie. So these did kind of go through variations of snow and no snow, so I tried to pick for the time frame that I'm doing here just how everything looked in that time frame. You guys can see my front and rear railings on the GP7s are, of course, post-rec, since we're post-rec on the front. Some of the bits are cut and broken off. Some of them are bent and hanging down. The grab iron that they actually held on to is on there. Something that I have on my units that was not on the ones in the movies is the little fold-down steps to walk over. Those were removed to basically make it more unsafe to cross, and just visually for the movie showing a bigger gap in between the units. I just added those on mine just to have a little bit more detail. All of them got firecracker antennas that are all cab mounted. These two basically right in the middle. The F unit has an offset one off to the side there, and then one on the lead unit right there. The lead unit, the GP40-2 and the F7 are the only two that had warning beacons, so those have warning beacons. These two, I really like the GP7s. They're really unique. They're non-dynamic, and then with the AAR-B Alco trucks, I love how these trucks look on these locomotives. If you really pay attention to the movie, these locomotives kind of go through variations from the beginning to the end. The first time we see these units, these are actually have a standard Bloomberg truck and not these. But the units used for the better part of the movie are all Alaska Railway units, and these were very typical of what they had on their GP7s back then. Both of these are Athearn blue box shells, so of course I added all the grab irons. I had to completely cut out the dynamic braking area, cut those out on both of those areas, and I actually took non-dynamic sections from GP38-2s. So basically this piece right here. These older shells are a little bit wider than the newer shells that had these inserts. So basically what I did was I cut the filter box off and then had to cut a chunk out of the middle, save these curved sections right here, glue those into place, and you can kind of see it underneath my paint there. I got a little low spot where I didn't get the plastic quite right, but I basically took a styrene strip and filled in the gap in the middle, and that got my non-dynamic hood fairly easily on there. That was kind of a concern of mine, was how to get these older units non-dynamic, because Athearn Blue Box never made these like that, so a little challenge back when I first built these, but pretty easily solved with some of those insert pieces, just kind of cutting those up. But I love these units. I love how the I love how the covers look on the back when you look at them from the back. Sides are really cool. Love the exhausts. Like I said, these exhausts are just a little bit too tall. They're not like terribly too tall, just a couple millimeters. So they still look really good on there. The couplers are all KD metal couplers that are heavily weathered to get all that snow and ice look. Same with the pilots. Put uncoupling bars on there, MU hoses, air hoses, all the details. A lot of detail work done to these. Same with this one. This is a Athearn blue box, so of course all the railings and the steps and everything, all that's hand bent from brass rodding. I couldn't really find pre-made grab irons at the time, so all the grab irons on all these locomotives is all hand bent out of brass rod. That took a lot of time. The all-weather windows are just a Walthers piece, if I remember correctly. The winterization hatches, I think those were like a Details West piece. The horns are all Details West. All the railings are standard blue box railings that I've glued in place. Make sure the stanchions don't shift from side to side like they do. But yeah, other than that, this set's ready to go. Like I said in the last video, these the two Jeep 7s and the F7 are free rolling, so no power to those. They do have motors in them just for weight, but nothing connecting to the trucks. And then the lead unit is the only one that has sound and DCC right now. Eventually I would like to get sound and DCC in these, so I could have them all powered, but I'll have to try to find sound units for those at some point. But that's the whole Runaway Train. Hopefully you guys like all the work that I did to it. A lot of time-consuming, detailed stuff. Like I said, even with all that, it's not 100% perfect, but it's pretty cool. It looks the part really good. Everything came out really nice. And hopefully the next time I get the chance to get this on a layout, I'll be able to get a few clips for you guys. Just get some pass-bys, some quick pass-bys, just that way you guys can actually see it running. And but yeah, that's it for these. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And until next time, take care.